Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, the host of your show, and we greatly appreciate you taking time to be with us today. We've got a great show lined up, some interesting guests with some great topics. Kevin Gardere is going to be with us. Kevin is with the Bridge House, Grace House, and he's going to be talking about the Recycled Fashion Show. Kelsey Scram is with JEDCO. He's going to be talking about an entrepreneurship challenge that you can get involved with. Bridget Galatas is with the American Heart Association. She's a volunteer, but she's going to be talking about the Go Red for Women event. That's always a great deal in New Orleans. David Jones. David is with the New Orleans Council for Community and Justice. Got a big project that's going to be taking place in New Orleans and Baton Rouge that you can be involved in. And finally, to close our show, Teresa Devlin. Teresa is the marketing manager for the Historic New Orleans Collection. We've got some great information about a couple of events coming up in February that relate to the Civil War and going to be taking a trip up to Port Hudson. So we've got a great show with a lot of great guests and some interesting topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have our good friend Kevin Gardere in the studio. Kevin is the executive director for Bridge House, Grace House. Kevin, thanks for being here. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
We're into the new year already. Yeah. It's going by so quick.
Right.
This year will be over before you know it. So let's talk real quick, Kevin, about the mission of Bridge House, Grace House, and we'll get into some of the topics you want to discuss.
Bridge House, Grace House is a long-term residential substance abuse treatment facility for the homeless and indigent, uninsured, unemployed, and we provide gender-specific treatment in that we separate the men into the Bridge House program and the women into Grace House program. Mm-hmm. But we have merged since 2006, and we're one big happy family now. We're treating 215 people a day, over 700 people a year.
Wow, that's just absolutely
incredible. And the demand
incredible
for our services is
I'm sure it's getting high.
You know.
Do you find it easier to operate now that you have merged into one organization?
Absolutely. Our CEO, Elsa Patterson, and our executive director of clinical services have done a great job in collaborating and getting the two programs to really kind of, even though they have to be separate because there's different issues that women have that men don't, and vice versa, have just done a great job. All of our administrative offices are now located at our new facility on Earhart Boulevard. And it's become streamlined. The organizational structure is really moving along.
Well, Ken, it's just a great service, again, offered to the city, and congratulations on the job that you do. Now, you've got a couple of big events coming up. You have, I believe it's a recycled fashion show?
That's correct.
That's January the 31st. Let's talk about that.
Annual recycled fashion show is January 31st.
I can only imagine what that is.
So the thrift stores are a huge revenue stream for us. Our two thrift stores bring in about $1.8 million a year. And that provides about 30% of our budget.
Wow.
So what we do is kind of, along with the fundraising and special events, bring in about 24%. So we combine those two departments and we allow designers, it could be anyone, they don't have to be a professional designer, so to say, that would go in, they would get a $75 voucher to one of our thrift stores. They would purchase the clothing, material, ties, whatever they would like, in order to produce a runway type outfit. And each designer produces 2 outfits, and it's unbelievable. Wow. The first year we had it, I was like, I wonder how this is going to work. And it really turned out well. I was like, this is like Project Runway. This is unbelievable what some of these people did with the items we have.
Now, Kevin, your website is www.bridgehouse.org. All the information, before we have to wrap up this segment, all the information can be found on the website regarding the fashion show, details about how to get involved in it. Are you looking for volunteers for the fashion show?
For the fashion show for this year, we're filled up.
Okay?
But we're always looking for volunteers to fill fundraising committees. Everything can be found on the website. One thing to note, our VIP tickets have sold out.
Okay.
General admission of $25, and you can purchase them online or give us a call. And it's $25 in advance and $30 at the door.
Well, Kevin,
we're always looking for people to help.
Yeah, listen, best of luck with the fashion show. Please come back. Tell us how that went. Maybe we'll have you wear some of the winning fashion.
I'll bring you an outfit too, Steve.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
Good deal.
Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it so much. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have Kelsey Scram in the studio with us. Kelsey is the marketing and PR manager for JEDCO. You do a wonderful job there, Kelsey. Thank you for taking time to be on the show. For our first-time viewers who may not be familiar with what JEDCO is, just briefly give me a description of JEDCO, the mission of the organization per se.
Sure. We are the Economic Development Commission for Jefferson Parish, and basically what we do is we focus on business retention, expansion, and attraction, work to bring jobs into the community, and focus on entrepreneurship as well.
Now, you've got a big event coming up on March the 25th. It's the JEDCO Challenge. Now, when I hear that, I'm thinking road race, even though I know that's not what it is. So talk a little bit about the JEDCO Challenge and why that's so critical.
Sure, absolutely. So, like I said, we focus a lot on business retention, expansion, and attraction, but one of our other focuses is really entrepreneurship and tapping into that entrepreneurial movement that's happening across the greater New Orleans region. And so last year was our first year. It's basically a pitch competition for Jefferson Parish entrepreneurs who live, work, or have a strong presence in this area. And we're looking to really attract them, bring them in, and kind of engage with them. So we want to identify them, get to know who they are, and assist them. And they will apply through an online portal on our website. And then we look to really narrow it down, find the top 5, and then they get to do a live pitch in front of a panel of Jefferson Parish business leaders and entrepreneurs and investors and mentors. And then we really just, you know, we choose the best one, and the best pitch wins, and then we give them a business boosting prize package of in-kind services and direct capital. So it's really a good opportunity for them to connect with a bunch of different business leaders and then also get their idea out there.
So is this mainly for someone who's starting a new business?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for somebody who's starting a new business, somebody who has an idea. And the criteria for that is, like I said before, you have to live, work, or have a strong presence in Jefferson Parish, bring in less than $1 million in revenue, have less than 10 employees, and also be a for-profit company.
Now let me ask, just so I can clarify here, what if you don't live in Jefferson Parish, but you have your main business in Jefferson Parish? Could you still participate?
Absolutely. Last year, our winner was actually based in the Bio Innovation Center. He did have an employee that worked that lived in Jefferson Parish, I should say. But yeah, as long as you have a presence in the community, it was Billy Bosch of Be Well Nutrition Inc., and he actually had his product all over the community, so it was very easy for him to apply and make it all the way through the competition.
And Kelsey, all the information, your website is www.jedco.org. All the information on the challenge is on the website.
Absolutely.
And this is your second year?
Second year.
Second year to do it?
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, we teamed up last year with Idea Village and Cordina New Orleans Cocktails, and it was really a great opportunity for us to do it, and we did it. It was so successful, we decided to do it again.
Now, do the individuals who are entering this, is there a fee for entering? Is it free?
It's completely free.
And then you narrow it down to the top 5. The top 5 do a presentation, and the winner pretty much gets the best of JEDCO for business starting, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. The winner would
That's
receive
incredible.
a business boosting prize package of in-kind services and direct capital. Last year, Billy walked away with, I think it was $18,250 in cash and a value of, I think, over $32,000 in professional services.
Incredible.
So it's like marketing and legal services, accounting. We already have a really great group of people who have signed on to help us again this year.
You just take over this company and work with them and make sure there's success.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're very excited too. I just want to mention that we just signed on our new title sponsor, First NBC Bank.
Great. Okay.
So we're really excited about that. That brings in $10,000.
Well, let me wrap it up again. The website is www.jedco.org. All the information can be seen there. Kelsey, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Again, so glad you joined us today. Our guest now is Bridget Galatas. Bridget is a volunteer with the American Heart Association, and she has the pleasure of serving as the chairwoman for the Go Red for Women. Congratulations on being the chairwoman. Is this your first year as chairwoman, or did you do such a good job last year that they nominated you again?
This is my first year as chair, but I've been on the executive leadership team, I think, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, and everything's going okay so far?
Everything's going great.
All right. Well, listen, volunteer work is important, and you volunteer for the American Heart Association. So thank you for doing that, for being a volunteer for such an incredible organization. Let's talk first about on February the 7th, that's National Wear Red Day. Give us a little bit of information on that other than you just wear red.
Well, National Wear Red Day, of course, is across the country, and we encourage both men and women to wear their red that day. And you see in the workplace lots of different folks participating, and we want you to wear red to increase awareness of heart disease in women, because we don't typically think about heart disease as a disease that impacts women. We think about it impacting men more often than not.
You're right.
But we also want you to get out in the community and volunteer. There's always different things that the Heart Association is doing that you can get involved in, and we also want you to donate too. We fund lots of things around education and research, and National Wear Red Day is just one of the things that we do to help people be more aware about their heart health.
Well, Bridget, we're very lucky that we've had a lot of folks from the American Heart Association on the show. The website is neworleansgored.heart.org, and that's going to lead us into the Go Red for Women Luncheon, which is on February the 13th, and I believe this is not the first time you've done this.
No, it's not. We've been doing this now for 7 or 8 years. We've had a lot of success. This year we look to raise more money than we did last year, so that's always good. And the event is a lot of fun. So we start around 10 o'clock in the morning, and from 10 to 11:30 we do health screenings. We've got a lot of different healthcare providers there to do biometric screenings and different things to really help women become more aware of their own personal health. And then we do fun things. We have a silent auction. We're bringing back personalities, is what we call it. And we have different prominent women in the community donate purses filled with all their favorite things, and we auction those off. And the funds, of course, stay with the Heart Association. And then at 11:30, we start our lunch. And we have survivors come in and talk about what they've been through and how the Heart Association has helped them, and the different research and education activities that we've done have impacted their lives. And then we do a great fashion show. So it's women in the community and survivors that put on a fashion show, and it's all red fashions, great around this time of year. The event is actually February 13th this year, so we tied it in really closely with Valentine's Day. So we liked, to have that correlation there, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, you always hear about the fashion show, but you said something that is interesting. Even before the fashion show, even before the luncheon, you have exhibits. So women can come in, and I'm sure these are exhibits that you can take part in, probably blood pressure checking, things like that, I'm thinking.
Absolutely, all sorts of health screenings. Like I said, different healthcare providers are there to do the blood pressure checks, to do the biometrics, get your BMI, and find out what your risk factors might be. A lot of times there's great recipes that different providers put on for people to be able to see what they need to do to improve their health.
Yeah. Now, Bridget, where's the luncheon at real quick again?
It's at the Sheraton, New Orleans.
Sheraton, New Orleans, and again, the website is neworleansgored.heart.org. All the information about American Heart Association and the luncheon can be found there. Bridget, thank you so much for volunteering, and thank you for taking time to be with us today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have a very exciting guest that's joining us today for the first time, David Jones. David is the CEO for Doublet Media, and he's working with the New Orleans Council for Community and Justice. David, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking time to be here.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
You got a lot of energy. You make me feel like I've got a lot of energy today.
You do.
So,
You do have a lot
I
of
appreciate that. So let's talk real quick about the design event you were telling me about before we went on the air.
Yeah, it's called the Louisiana Design-a-thon. It's going to be happening from February 8th to February 9th at Launchpad in New Orleans. It's going to be an exciting event. To preface it a little more, the Design-a-thon was started in 2012 by a developer friend of mine named Adam Culpepper out of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And it was designed to help nonprofits to really just highlight and launch new programs or initiatives. We started it at Baton Rouge on the first year in 2012. Now it's in New Orleans. this year.
This will be the first year for New Orleans?
This will be the first year in New Orleans. And the New Orleans Council for Community and Justice, an organization that I've worked very closely with on some programming, was selected for this. So it's a really big honor.
David, the website, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the website is www.louisianadesign.com.
Yes, it's www.louisianadesign.com. We're actually looking for creatives, developers, designers, people in the PR, communications world. We're all coming together for this 24-hour period around the clock to build a full brand and web presence for NOCCJ's program for health and wellness called the Great Health Race.
Oh, and tell us a little bit about the Great Health Race, if you can.
I am so excited about the Great Health Race. The Great Health Race, I feel, has the potential to really change the way youth, New Orleans, and hopefully around the country see themselves in the landscape of health and wellness. Past year, early in 2013, the president of NOCCJ came to us and wanted to work on figuring out some different avenues to expand their programming. They've been a human relations organization in the city since 1943.
Wow.
And they've been doing a lot of work mainly promoting equality, combating disparity, bigotry, racism, and the like. And they were trying to come into the 21st century. So we embarked on a journey to do some research. Long story short, we identified the health and wellness of New Orleans youth as a huge issue to tackle, and through a bunch of innovative solutions, we came up with a program called the Great Health Race. It has two components. One is a digital piece. We're building out a website and an application for kids to actually learn about health in a fun way on a platform that they're already spending hours of time on each day.
Absolutely.
And we've actually incentivized it for them to win prizes that they can take home from participating and learning. And then we have gardens, we call our victory gardens, that are going to be built inside of the schools to apply some hands-on reinforcement to what they learn.
David, that is incredible. Congratulations.
It's going to be amazing.
I got to tell you, this is something that takes a lot of spirit and a lot of energy, and I see you as the guy that can definitely get that done. If people want to volunteer to help, or I mean, is there a way they can do that? Go on the website.
They can just go right to louisianadesign.com. It's simple. It takes about 30 seconds. The event is free. All meals will be provided for. We've got a lot of pretty exciting guests that are going to come through during the day to help contribute, but there are a lot of hands on deck with this.
Oh, David, I tell you, this is
excited.
awesome. We encourage you to go to the website and find more information about this incredible organization. David Jones, thank you for being with us. Please come back and join us again when you get a chance.
I will.
Tell us how the event went. We look forward to having you come back.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana again. So happy you found the time to join us today. We greatly appreciate it. Our final guest is Teresa Devlin. Teresa is the marketing manager for the historic New Orleans collection. Teresa, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I don't think we've had anybody on the show yet from the historic New Orleans collection. Let's talk a little bit about the mission of the organization, kind of who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. We are a museum, a research center, and a publisher. We're located in the heart of the French Quarter on Royal Street. And our mission is to preserve and protect the history and culture of New Orleans, the Gulf South, and the state of Louisiana.
We have a lot of work that
We do.
keeps you busy with this area, I'm sure. You've got two big events coming up on February the 15th. Let's talk about those real quick.
All right, well, both of our events are presented in conjunction with our current exhibition, which is called Occupy New Orleans, Voices from the Civil War. And this exhibition looks at the experiences of everyday citizens who were in New Orleans during the period of the Civil War. And so the two events we have, again, they're both on Saturday, February 15th. A trio called Roscoe, Lee, and Abadie. These are living history characters. They're going to be performing song, dance. They do a theater show. They do phrenology, which was a popular parlor activity where you study one's personality by the shape of their skull. So this is a very much of an interactive, audience participatory type of event, and that one is from noon to 4. They'll be in the gallery.
Now, are they dressed in Civil War attire? fire and so forth?
And they run through like a variety of different different activities. So people can come and go and stay for as long as they like, and you know, enjoy it at their leisure.
Wow.
And for those who are looking for a different kind of experience, we are planning a trip to Port Hudson, which was a battlefield site, on Saturday, February 15th. That's going to be an all-day excursion. We're going to leave from New Orleans. The site curator is going to lead a private tour of the port and kind of go through the history that took place at that site.
Is there a charge for that if you want?
There is, and all of those, we have different rates for you know, for our members and for others, but it does include lunch, and you know, and it's a charter bus, so you don't have to deal with driving or parking or anything like that.
Now, Teresa, your website is www.hnoc.org. All the information for both the events are on the website.
Absolutely.
Where exactly is Port Hudson?
Port Hudson is a little bit further north of Baton Rouge.
Is it going towards St. Francisville?
Yes.
I've seen that. I've seen. I didn't realize that was a big Civil War site.
Yes, that is true.
Wow. Now, I've stayed in St. Francisville before, and the bed and breakfast that I stayed in, I actually stayed in what was called the Cannonball Room, because a cannonball that was fired from the river into the city of St. Francisville came into this room.
Wow.
And to this day, you can still see where it came through. So, I mean, this
great.
is the sort of, I hate to change the subject, that's the sort of thing I love. Have you done, is this an annual tour that you do to Port Hudson?
No, this is
first time?
Every time we do our exhibitions, we do try to enhance the display with additional programming, and this was one of the opportunities that came to us.
I got to tell you, this sounds absolutely incredible. I'm a Civil War buff. Again, you've got a performance with Roscoe Lee and Aberdeen, which sounds phenomenal. The bus tour to Port Hudson. Go to the website, www.hnoc.org, for all information. Teresa, we're about out of time. I want to thank you for taking time to be with us. Please come back whenever you like and tell us more about the New Orleans collection.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. This is Steve Sawyer. Thank you again.